My name is Genius Black.
My name is Suzie Assam.
I'm Shameek the God.
And we have all collaborated with other artists from our Gem City crew to create an album called Gem City. And these two amazing humans are together singing and rapping and performing simultaneously on a really groovy ass track produced by myself, Genius Black, and George Foisey. Also, we got a little bit of guitar action from the homie Dave Gutter. And these two on Scoliosis. Check it out on the album. It's gonna hypnotize you, and I invite you to be hypnotized. So, the first question I have, and whoever can answer first, when did you start performing music?
So I started performing music. I must have been in high school or whatever. I had joined a group with my homie Jedi, my boy Il Christ, and a few other of us, my man Ghost. Like we formed a group, and this must have been sometime in high school. We did our first show at it was called the Center for Cultural Exchange. Originally, we did the first hip hop show there or whatever, and then I think it's now One Longfellow Square or something like that. That's the place we did our first show. I remember it was pretty dope. We had a bunch of people in. We had an intermission where everybody could get up and freestyle if they wanted to. It was really a hip hoppy crowd.
It was communal, yeah.
Super communal. But yeah, this must have been my sophomore year in high school, I feel like.
That's when you started performing?
I started performing like my sophomore year in high school, indeed. I must have been like 16, 17 years old, yeah.
I love that because I started performing, singing in choir randomly in middle school. And so, like actual performances and even competitions, so it's always curious to me when people really started. I'm also curious, you just said, Il the Christ. I know, like, you know the homie Obed the Prophet, a super talented producer and artist out here in Maine. And then your name is Shameek the God. Yo, what's good? Like, where these names come from?
Oh, man.
I'm always wondering.
I can't speak for Il Christ. That's my homie. That's always been his name. He goes, his real name is Mike Osborne, but like he goes by Il Christ. He lives out in Long Island now. Obed the Prophet, that's my homie. Like we just put out an album together a couple years ago.
Yes.
And you know, like it was a short album, but like I was really happy with the way it came out. Hopefully we're gonna do a part 2 coming up. Shameek the God, that comes from me. I belonged to the Nation of Gods and Earths at one point.
Yes.
I now it's 120 in 7.5 months, 120 lessons I could speak them word for word. On command, and that was quite a journey for me, and it's a big part of my life and who I am now to this day. I'm not currently active in the nation, but like the 120 lessons still kind of lead me in the directions I go and the things I do now. So like that's where the Shameek the God come from, like because I was actually God bodied.
Thank you. Yeah. What about you?
When did I start performing? It's probably like elementary school. I remember being in chorus. Personally, I probably gave my own little private concerts in my bedroom as a child.
In the
mirror. I've been singing for forever. But it was definitely probably like a school thing. Which is not to say that it was good, but it happened. Right,
and then we all got to start somewhere. I would imagine that your performances now for everyone here is better than when we first started.
I hope so.
It better be. Or we should just give up. No, I appreciate that. The other thing I want to know, is there a Portland music sound?
A Portland music sound. If I were to speak on that, I would say, as far as hip hop goes, there might be a Portland music sound per se, but like I feel like everybody that's a hip hop artist in Portland don't follow that specific path of sound.
Yes.
And it's like that with the rock music, with the bluegrass and the country that come out of Portland, with the R&B that comes out of Portland. Like there's just so many performers. It's absolutely crazy. Like I couldn't ask to live or grown up in a better area for music than I have. Like this place is like it's kind of crazy because like you meet artists everywhere you go. This is a really artsy city, and that's one of the things that makes Portland great, in my opinion.
It blows my mind. I said it earlier today, and to this day, I still meet artists out here. Like someone will introduce me or someone will bring them to my studio. And I'm just like, oh, where you from? Portland? Lewiston? South Portland? What? You from out here? Blows my mind. Still to this day, I still have been like, not even a month ago, I met somebody who was like, wow, I never even knew you were out here. So I know what you're saying. And I think that as people turn their attention towards Portland, Maine, they're gonna find a treasure trove, literally, of artists that are polished, that are serious in different genres. And again, that's why we call this Gem City. So, just saying. And also, what about for you?
I think it's definitely an amalgamation of things. I don't think that there's any specific, like it's not like New Orleans jazz. It's definitely just a bunch of different things that come together. But what I love is that there are so many people that specialize in so many different things that can still make something sound amazing when they come together, which is part of what I love about working with you and the people that I get to meet through you, is that my primary genre isn't necessarily like R&B or hip hop, but you find ways to like use my voice in a way that fits without stripping away who I am as an artist and who I am as a person. And I think that that is the coolest thing about being a vocalist here and just being a musician here, is just being able to work with other people and not lose yourself.
Is there a Portland music sound?
In my opinion, it's sort of just an amalgamation of things. There are so many different kinds of artists and musicians in the area that somehow can manage to like come together and create something really beautiful. And what I love about working with people here, especially working with you, is that we always find ways to create something together that doesn't strip away who we are as artists. It doesn't strip away our individuality as people. And I just think it's really cool to be in a place where you can collaborate with someone and not lose parts of yourself. And I don't know, I love that.
We want to highlight the parts of yourself, not lose them, not erase them, not smear them, if at all possible. So I really appreciate hearing that. That's real for me. And that leads me to my next question. We're in Portland right now. You know, we're in space, we're having a conversation as artists. And one of the things that I think about, because we've been doing some shows as a group, I call it the Gem City crew. It's our crew of people. And so my question is, what does it feel like, or how is it performing with the Gem City crew?
My opinion, performing with the Gem City crew is amazing. It's like working with a bunch of professional artists that like are gonna push you to do your best, but also support you if you don't. You feel me? Like everybody has fun. You know, we all chill. Like there's no like pressure. I feel like it's the most freeing type of performance I've really done in the area. Cause I work with other people and they're like, oh, you're like, they on some dope shit. You're like, oh, they also like, oh, because you know, like, you better, you do this and that. Like, no, like it's not like that with the Gem City crew. Everything's chill and lax, and I feel like we come out with the best possible outcome because of that when we perform together.
I feel it.
I don't want to be cheesy, but it feels like coming home. Like I feel like everybody that I've worked with through you and with you has been super friendly and welcoming, and just there's this weird, I don't want to say weird, but there's this really cool sense of trust. Like, I trust that you're not going to put me in a room with someone that I'm not going to work well with, that is going to bring harsh vibes to the group, and someone that's not going to waste everybody's time. Like, I know that you are bringing together a group of people that can have respect for each other, and that is going to make not just you look good, but the whole crew look good.
And that's why it's the crew. The people I picked are on purpose. And I'm not saying that there aren't people who are part of this. And when I say Gem City, y'all know I mean the whole city. Like, I really mean all those talents and genres. But the people I work with is because y'all deliver amazing vocal performances consistently and good and positive vibes consistently. So for me, that feedback about how it feels for y'all really means the world. And I mean, that's what I think creates that stage and that platform and that space for y'all to not lose yourself, for you to come and perform your best and see what happens, right? And know that people's not going to charge you if it wasn't perfect, because that's not what it is. We got more time that we can perform, like we got coming up soon, right? So to me, that really means the world to hear. And I'll say that for anyone in the audience, you know, myself, Genius Black, in my studio and in my vibes, I bring a lot of people together to collaborate who have never met each other. And I do that consistently and regularly. And I curate and I pick the people that I know will vibe. And so to get on the back end, someone say, yeah, that actually felt dope. And then to have songs like Scoliosis, which is the song that both Shameek and you, Suzie, perform on feature on, which is really a dope, vibey song. I remember when y'all both came to my studio /apartment/secret location. And I literally said, I'm gonna play the track. I want you to sing, I want you to rap. And y'all did. I had to do it like 7, 8, 10, 12 times in a row. And I told you, because I was standing between both of y'all equidistant, that it was hypnotic what I was hearing. And then when we went to the show, I was able to confidently tell the audience that I'm about to play some dope shit for y'all. Check this out. And I remember watching people's faces and reactions when you were performing the song that I already knew was going to smack them. And it was smacking them. Right? So for me, that level of artistry and then execution, because in the studio it's different from the stage, you feel me?
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's part of what inspires me and why I literally created Gem City with y'all, because of the mutual back and forth inspiration. And that's what Gem City is. So I just talked a little bit about what Gem City means to me. And then my question for y'all, what does Gem City mean to you?
To me, it's a diamond in the rough. If I'm being real, Gem City is a diamond in the rough. Like, this is a city in a state, you know, it doesn't really have much. You know, you got Portland. Maine is known for Portland. You know, Maine is known for, like, it's the restaurant mecca or capital of the northeastern seaboard. You know, like, It's the brewery capital of the East Coast. We also have music.
Amazing music.
We have amazing music. We have great music here. And that's what Gem City is to me. This city is a gem. It's a gem.
Yeah, it's full of gems.
Especially out of New England, especially out of the East Coast. This city is a gem. Like, people come here as a destination spot. People are like, let me go to Portland, Maine. There's a reason for that, in my opinion.
Thanks.
Ditto.
It's good enough.
But really though, like, it is a highlight for a lot of people that do come here for vacation, but also people who live here. Like, I remember I grew up in Lewiston, the Dirty Lou, scourge of Central Maine, apparently, which is not how I feel. But like, it was a big deal to go to Portland. Like, it was like a to-do, you know, to be able to, like, go to the mall and be able to, like, go to the Old Port. And it's not something that happened very often for me. And I know that there's a lot of people in more rural areas of Maine that don't get to experience anything close to sort of like a city vibe, which is what you get when you come here. And Portland is a small city, but I feel like there's so much culture and life in this little space that it's a big deal. It's a big deal to be able to be here. So it is a gem.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think that not only is Portland itself a gem, it's really full of gems. And again, like you said, to sound cheesy a little bit, I call it a treasure trove, a treasure chest, all that I agree with, because I'm from Dallas, Texas. The DFW Metroplex is a big metropolitan area. Lots of talent, lots of genres. And I can tell you, coming to Maine and seeing the Portland music scene continues to blow my mind and inspire me because of, like, there's talents I've encountered here that I haven't even encountered the likes of anywhere else. Visiting New Orleans or Dallas or hearing people I know from Atlanta, and there's so much talent out here. But people are going to wake up to Portland, Maine. So I just want to share that real quick. What is it like to create music with Genius Black?
You lean forward. He definitely has an answer ready.
I don't know that I have an answer ready, but I have a feeling ready. You know, it's funny. I met Jerry kind of on a humbug. Like, I was working with this other producer, and like he knew Jerry, and like originally, like he came and introduced me to Jerry. We went to his apartment or whatever, and like we started creating music together. Production wise, in the beginning, you know, it began with production between the two of us, and then like we got into like the lyrics and everything. You know, I feel like the first thing we did together was Peace God, and I feel like that might have been after we worked with Homie. But I'm not 100% sure. But like from the point when Jerry and I met, like we clicked and we started vibing. Like it was a minute before we got back into contact, but then like I was like, yo, like let me hit this dude up, because like I'm serious about my music and he was serious about his music, and we came together on that, and we've done some production, we've done some lyrics, we've done a little bit of everything together. Yep. And working with Jerry just feels like working with family or working with a best friend. Like it's crazy, but it's really comfortable. I guess that's the best way I can put it. Like even when he puts me in the room with somebody else, it's all that level of comfort is always gonna be there. As far as I'm concerned, anyway.
Means a lot to me to hear.
The word organic comes to mind. And I think you and I have talked about this before, especially like with Kev Coast.
Kev Coast, shout out.
There are people that you can create with where it almost doesn't even feel like you're doing anything. Like it just feels so effortless and so natural. And I think that you do a really wonderful job of creating a space where people can let go of everything. What Kari mentioned earlier was amazing, because I don't even think I realized that there was a moment where that imposter syndrome just sort of like disappeared and it went away. And it was just doing something. Like it was just as natural as like writing your name down, or it felt like it just came. And I think what you're talking about with the comfort is just another layer of that trust. Like I trust that no matter what, you're going to keep my artistry, my integrity, and my identity intact when we're working together. And that's a really big deal. It's not about creating a specific sort of sound because we're trying to make money or sell things to people or win awards. You're doing it because you're passionate about it and you love it, and you're working with people who are also passionate about their craft and their artistry, and that's huge.
Yeah. Again, I sure appreciate it. Thank you for sharing. Last question. What is next? What's next for you and for your music?
So for me, I have been focusing on production. I've also been focusing on
learning to, this is kind of on the low, because I don't really know about this yet, but I've been taking lessons to sing.
Oh.
And I've been working with a few other musicians, and I've been doing a little bit of blues music, and I kind of enjoy that. But I'm also working on my own hip hop album right now. There's a couple of producers I'm hoping to work with in a higher capacity, especially Genius Black, of course. Where that Genius God album at? You feel me?
You already know.
Yeah, that Genius God album coming.
I'm expanding, and I'm doing things that I never thought I could do in the past. And that's, for me, that's kind of amazing, because like I never thought of myself as a singer, but like with me sticking my foot in the water with singing, like I kind of enjoy it.
Your voice is amazing, bro. I can say that. I have a good voice.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Word. Okay.
And what about you? What's next, Suzie?
Ooh, well, it's funny because we were just talking about this earlier. I still really would like to put out an EP in the next year or so. It's been hard, obviously, with COVID and my desire to work with other musicians and not put them at risk. But I know that people have been bothering me about it for a long time. But I also feel like it's important for me to do. Performing live is great, and I love it. But I think that being able to like have it be more accessible and reach more people and, you know, be out there, because as I mentioned in our conversation earlier, my commitment is to making people feel less alone in what they're feeling and what they're going through. And that's, I don't know, it's just really important to me. So that is the next thing to look toward for me.
I always feel that in your music, especially the original songs you played, like even when you first started coming through out in Biddeford and hanging with me, bringing your guitar and playing until your hands physically got tired and presenting songs to me just to share and see what we could do. You draw energy from real life, like real raw life, good, bad, everything in between. And for me, I think that's why your impact will be felt. So what I hear both of y'all saying is that you're striving to what I hear you both saying is that you are striving to do bigger and better and more things with your music. Not bigger in the corny sense, but just bigger platforms, get it out to more people, complete more projects. So for me, I feel kind of inspired, and y'all know y'all can tap me as long as I'm available. But I think that, Suzie, if me and you make music, people will like what you come up with. I think they will like what we come up with, and I think we should move forward with that. And Shameek, you already know. You know what I'm saying? I sent you some beats. I got some more beats. You ain't even heard the last couple. But those things being said, I really do feel inspired. I'm really excited for the shows we have coming up. Particularly, you know, the show we have at Space, because that's like in the middle of Portland. That's going to draw people out that really deserve to see what we're doing and what we've put together, right? But I'm also just excited for the recordings we can do and that we can allow people to stream, in Australia and Africa and England, because that's what happens. And we have a sound here that we're creating that people all over the world do and will continue to appreciate, right? It is an authentic and honest sound. So I appreciate it. And thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.